Teti the King. Secrets from the Tombs. The pyramid texts of Teti are among the oldest religious texts in the world. For a millennium they lie, undetected, undiscovered, and perhaps forever lost in translation, but with time, the essence of these ancient writings becomes clearer in the lens of their historical and scientific context. In this presentation, we will explore the Pyramid of Teti, read and decipher the Medu Neter inscriptions, and provide the viewer with an interpretation that aligns with modern science. Long dismissed as unintelligible and incoherent, the pyramid texts of Teti contain a cornucopia of spiritual transformation science and profound knowledge of self, astronomy, quantum physics, and bacteriogenetics. Let us explore the afterlife journey of the great immortal ruler of the eastern sky and Sirius, Teti the King. Teti, less commonly known as Tata or Atat or Athath in outdated sources, was the first king of the 6th dynasty of ancient Kemet. He was buried at Saqqara. The exact length of his reign has been destroyed on the Turin king list, but is believed to have been about 12 years. Teti had several wives, including the daughter of Unaz, Iput, the last king of the 5th dynasty. Iput was the mother of Pepi I. Teti is known to have had several children. He was the father of at least 3 sons and probably 10 daughters. Of the sons, 2 are well attested and a 3rd one is also likely. His vizier Mer-ul-Khan built a mastaba tomb at Saqqara, which consisted of 33 richly carved rooms, the biggest known tomb for an Egyptian nobleman. The Egyptian priest and chronicler Manetho states that Teti was murdered by his palace bodyguards in a harem plot, and he appears to have been briefly succeeded by a short-lived usurper, Usur-Kara. Teti was buried in the royal necropolis at Saqqara. His pyramid complex is associated with the mastabas of officials from his reign. This information is confirmed by the South Saqqara stone annal document from Pepi II's reign, which gives him a reign of around 12 years. Teti's mother was Queen Sesheshet, who was instrumental in her son's accession to the throne and a reconciling of 2 warring factions of the royal family. Sesheshet lived between 2323 BC to 2291 BC. Egypt's chief archaeologist Zahi Hawass, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, announced on November 11, 2008, that she was entombed in a 4,300-year-old 5-meter tall pyramid at Saqqara. This is the 118th pyramid discovered thus far in Egypt. The largest portion of its 2-meter wide casing was built with a superstructure 5 meters high. It originally reached 14 meters with sides 22 meters long. Once 5 stories tall, it lay beneath 7 meters of sand, a small shrine, and mud brick walls from later periods. The third known subsidiary pyramid to Teti's tomb was originally 46 feet tall and 72 feet square at its base due to its walls having stood at a 51-degree angle. Buried next to the Saqqara Step Pyramid, its base lies 65 feet underground and is believed to have been 50 feet tall when it was built. The Pyramid of Teti is a smooth-sided pyramid situated in the pyramid field at Saqqara in Kemet. It is the second known pyramid containing the pyramid text. Excavations have revealed a satellite pyramid, 2 pyramids of queens accompanied by cult structures, and a funerary temple. The pyramid was opened by Gaston Maspero in 1882, and the complex explored during several campaigns. It was originally called Teti's Places Are Enduring. The preservation above ground is very poor, and it now resembles a small hill. Below ground, the chambers and corridors are very well preserved. The pyramid complex of Teti follows a model established during the reign of Djedkare Sesi, the arrangement of which is inherited from the funerary complexes of Abu Sir. A valley temple now lost was probably destroyed in antiquity due to the place of an old kingdom temple dedicated to Anpu or Anubis constructed there. A better-known funerary temple revealed by James Edward Quibble in 1906 is connected to the Valley Temple by a causeway. The plan of the Temple of Teti is also comparable to that of Unaz, its immediate predecessor. Teti's temple has a somewhat special plan, however, due to a deviation of the floor which traditionally should have been located in the axis of the temple, but here is moved south. It then accesses the temple through a hallway of the north-south facade joining the east-west axis of the monument. Followed in this main axis is a second hall. The thickness of the walls suggests a vaulted cover. It was probably the Room of the Greats, on the walls of which the royal family and influential members of the court were to be represented assisting and accompanying the eternal journey of their sovereign. This hall opened into an open courtyard surrounded on all 4 sides by colonnades whose main purpose was the presentation of daily offerings and ritual libations. The only way out is centered to the west and provides access to the innermost part of the sanctuary. Included in the Parabolos, a sacred part of the royal pyramid reserved for priests of the king, was a chapel containing the 5 Niles, housing 5 statues of the king, appearing in the aspect of the 5 principal deities of the realm. This part also included a private room containing the false door stela of the king, a veritable object of funeral worship, and a double row of stores on both sides of the axis of the temple. The first row frames the party host and is accessible by a long corridor along the entire width of the building that leads to the south and north within the Parabolos of the pyramid. The second set frames the sanctuary and the hall of statues of gods and was only accessible from the latter. The last element essential to the funerary cult, the satellite pyramid encircled in its own Parabolos, is located southeast of the royal pyramid and therefore was accessible only through a corridor of stores and halls of worship. This small pyramid covers an underground plan consisting of a short ramp leading to a single underground chamber. In the middle of the courtyard of the parabolos, facing east and west, are two landscape basins in the granite floor. Their use is disputed by Egyptologists, but the location of these basins following the path of the sun suggests ritual practices that shed some light on the role of this monument. The orientation of the pyramid is not aligned with the four cardinal points. However, the proportions and plan of the pyramid follow exactly the same pattern as that of the pyramid of Djedkare-Assesi. The internal dimensions and slope are the same, and it is otherwise very similar. Although looted since ancient times, remains of the king's grave goods were found during the first excavation of the monument. Consisting mainly of stone materials, these objects have been abandoned by looters, probably considered useless or worthless. Thus, a series of club heads with the names of Teti has reached us, and one of the canopic jars containing the viscera of the king. The most troubling item found among the debris of the funeral viaticum, the plaster mold of a death mask. The reproduced molding transmits to us the face of a man with eyes closed, mouth slightly open. The expression is striking, and it is purported to be an image of Teti, making it the only true royal portrait that has survived from the Old Kingdom. All around the funerary complex of the king extends one of the richest parts of the necropolis of Saqqara. The king, whose special destiny seems to have impressed his contemporaries, will be revered later as a divine mediator along with a few courtiers who have in some sense inherited it by reputation. The king was also accompanied by his two principal wives who each had a pyramid accompanied with a temple of worship. Among the many tombs that form this necropolis of the 6th dynasty of Kemet include the pyramid complex of Kuit II, the pyramid complex of Aput, the pyramid complex of Sesheshet I, the king's mother, the mastaba of Teti and Akim, royal prince, son of Teti and Kuit, the mastaba of Kajemni, vizier of Teti, the mastaba of Ankh-Mahor, and the mastaba of Mer-Er-Uka. During the Middle Kingdom, the court of the king was assured as evidenced by recent discoveries to the east of Teti's pyramid of the tombs of Sahathor-Ipe and of Sekwesket. These were two priests attached to the worship of the famous pharaoh. In the New Kingdom, other graves are arranged near the funerary complex of Teti, who is sometimes referred to as a true deity. Moshe, or Moses, a scribe, had his decorated tomb chapel here. Under the reign of Ramesses II, Ka-Imwaset, the royal prince and high priest of Ptah, would even restore the pyramid of the distant ruler, taking care to re-register his name on one side of the pyramid. Finally, in the late period, popular enthusiasm for the gods of Saqqara increased to the point that a temple dedicated to Anubis is built on the funerary complex of Teti, whose pyramid continued to dominate the entire valley and will remain a sacred monument to all the devotees who borrowed while along dromos leading to the Seraphim of Saqqara, and which skirted the venerable pyramid of Teti. The Teti Pyramid Text. Utterance 337, Sarcophagus Chamber, West Wall. The king ascends to the sky. Heaven shouts, earth trembles, in dread of you, Osiris, at your coming. Oh, you milch cows here. Oh, you nursing cows here. Turn about him, lament him, mourn him, bewail him, as he comes forth and goes to heaven, among his brothers the gods. Utterance 350, the king prays to the sky goddess. O great strider, who sows greenstone, malachite, turquoise, and stars, as you are green, so may Teti be green, green as a living reed. Utterance 373, Antechamber, West Wall. The king is raised from his tomb. Oh ho, rise up, O Teti, take your head, collect your bones, gather your limbs, shake the earth from your flesh. Take your bread that rots not, your beer that sours not, stand at the gates that bar the common people. The gatekeeper comes out to you. He grasps your hand, takes you into heaven, to your father Geb. He rejoices at your coming, gives you his hands, kisses you, caresses you. Set to you before the spirits, the imperishable stars. The hidden ones worship you. The great ones surround you. The watchers wait on you. Barley is threshed for you. Emmer is reaped for you. Your monthly feasts are made with it. Your half-month feasts are made with it, as ordered done for you by Geb your father. Rise up, O Teti, you shall not die. Utterance 402, Antechamber, East Wall. The king roams the sky. Spacious is Teti's seat with Geb. High is Teti's star with Ra. Teti roams the fields of offering. Teti is that eye of Ra, conceived at night, born every day. Utterance 403, Antechamber, East Wall. The king prays for abundance. O you whose tree greens on his own field. O blossom opener on his sycamore. O you of gleaming shores upon his tree. O Lord of verdant fields, rejoice today. Henceforth, Teti is among you. Teti will go in your midst. Teti will live on what you live. O you bulls of Atum, make Teti green. Make Teti fresh, more than the crown on his head, more than the flood on his lap, more than the dates in his fist. Utterance 406, Antechamber, East Wall. The king prays to the sun god. Hail, O Ra, in your beauty, your splendor, on your thrones, in your radiance, do bring Teti the milk of Aset, flowing water from Nebuhet, flood of the lake, surge of the sea, life, prosperity, health, and joy, bread, beer, and clothing, things on which Teti may live. May the brewers obey me throughout the day and provide for me at night. I shall eat when they are sated with their fare. May Teti see you when you go forth as Thoth, when the waterway is made for the bark of Ra to his fields that lie in Yasu, and you surge at the head of your helpers.